there, Jerry, because
Sure.
my main man is here, Mr. Mike Singletary.
Your main
Mike,
man.
That's right, and I'm going to tell you why Mike's my main man.
Yeah, why is he your main man?
Mike Boomer Craig, New York City. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. How are
See
you?
Let me
Mike.
tell you why Mike's my main man.
Oh, here we go.
When you travel
Yes.
bougie, 2 years ago,
Yes.
I'm at line at JFK getting on a plane. I don't have any premier access. I ain't flying first class. And who's three people in front of me?
Mike Singletary.
Mike Singletary. But there's a problem that comes along with that. Mike, I view you, Mike, you're a man's man. Whatever the hell that means, you're the guy. Like, you are a guy. Like, when people think, hey, Mike Singletary, that's a man. No, right?
Yep.
You had some Fugazi Louis Vuitton man bag with you.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, Mike Singletary's got a man bag? A Louis V one? What happened to you? You got soft. Is that what happened?
Oh, not at all. I mean, I have a wife. And sometimes your wife tries to update you at times.
I hear ya.
And you got to go with the flow. And I think you know what I'm talking
So
about.
Am I
the
making
only
that
one
up?
that you're-
I want you to confirm. I'm not making that up.
No, you're not confirmed. No,
yeah, you're
I will
not.
confirm. Yeah.
The thing about it, the only person he's intimidated by is your wife. That's about it, because you
Absolutely.
intimidated the hell out of everybody else. Let me ask you a question. You ever play with a broken thumb? Ever just like lace it up and tape it up and go back out there and play?
Well, I played with a broken finger, and yes.
We have
Al,
a radio
you might wanna- Al,
producer.
you might want to take notice over here.
Okay.
Let me
So
ask you a
good.
question, Mike. There's so much to talk to you about. And I'm going to start with the coaching career. I was one of the people that thought, and I think I was in the majority, I don't know if I was or not, can we get that guy to stop beeping that thing? Is that possible? Like, we have enough Super Bowl banners up in the sky. We probably don't need another one, Al. Take care of that with your broken thumb, please. I thought you didn't get enough credit for putting the Niners in a position that when Harbaugh eventually got there and they had a few-year run of success, that started with what you did. And I wonder, when you take a look back on your career, both as a player and as a coach, if it upsets you what the story is about Mike Singletary, the coach. We all know the player story. It's beyond what everyone could say, Hall of Fame. But when you look back at the way people talk about you as a coach, emotionally, how do you feel about it?
Emotionally, I just feel that there were so many things that happened in a short amount of time. And when you don't have time or really need or to feel the necessity to tell your story, I just feel like I'll make it right the second time around.
Right.
You know, it was amazing. I was talking to the great Mike Singletary. Basically, Sal, I'll never forget the press conference. You can't win with him or something. Remember that whole thing?
Can't win with him, can't win without him.
Can't
right?
win without that whole, the intensity of Mike Singletary came through, because I always tell Craig this, when at the end of my career, Ray Lewis was on the field, and it was my last game, and I remember walking off the field, I said, Ray, someday you could be as good as Mike Singletary if you really, take to your craft. It was only his second year, and certainly his career stands for itself. But I always tell Craig, I'll never forget playing against you and how your eyes, just would look right at me, like you're staring at me, like just waiting for me to give you some sort of tip of what we were doing, and how I don't want to say intimidating, but it was just distracting. And I also got to thank you, because you yelled at Dexter Manley in a Pro Bowl once.
Okay.
Because Dexter hit me out of bounds.
All right.
And you said, Dexter, you dumbass. We're all brothers in this league. What the hell are you trying to do? So I appreciate that too, Mike. So you're a good guy. You got the whole thing. You understood what it meant to be a pro football player. When you see today's athletes and you see some of the stuff that goes on the field, is it frustrating for you to see some of the hijinks and all the it's all about me and it's all about the name on the back as opposed to the name on the front?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of where we move as a society. But I think overall, we just have to continue to take the game forward in terms of safety and those things, but at the same time, not get away from our roots in terms of how we should act and carry ourselves and what we represent.
Don't you think, while we respect the fact guys are getting hurt and concussions is a big deal, I'm tired of hearing about it. You guys signed up to play a violent sport. You knew what you were getting into. There's a lot of money that comes along with it, and no one ever twisted your arm and said, Mike, Boomer, you must play football. So when you hear guys complaining about the violence or society saying football is the root of all evil, how do you react to that?
Well, my first response is I think what you said is correct. You do sign up to play the sport, and for me, it is a privilege to play the game. But at the end of the day, I do think there are steps that we have to take in order to get better and make the game better so that moms really want to let their son play.
And I have to ask you this question. Health-wise, Do you deal with any repercussions having played as long as you played?
I've been tremendously blessed. I really don't have any issues.
And if you had a 10-year-old who came to you tomorrow and said, "Dad, I want to go play tackle football," would you say, "Yeah, I'm good with that"?
We have 7 kids.
7,
and
Mike.
And so
7,
when
too
my
many.
sons want to play as a son, you can play. And I support you. But you're going to have to do the work in order to get out there on
How
the
about
field.
Mrs. Singletary? She was okay with the
Absolutely.
kids playing?
She loves
Absolutely.
football. I guarantee you she loves
Yes,
football.
yes, she does.
And she knows what it
I got to
meant
ask
to
you
your
one more
life.
thing
Yeah,
about,
sure.
and with all due respect, I never talk about a man's family, but I will ask since I brought up your kids playing football. Are you a pain in the ass on the sideline watching your kid play, or are you able to sit back and just enjoy your son or daughter playing sports?
My wife may be the pain. I'm trying to coach her. Sweetheart, it's okay. We're going to make it here. It's just a game.
It's got to be tough, though, right? Watching your kids play. No?
No, not at all. I get just a sheer joy out of watching my kids play any sport.
Sure.
But particularly my sons play football. I'm happy for them and just giving them pointers as they go.
Do they play linebacker? That's what I want to know.
My oldest one did.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to be a head coach again? Do I hear
yes,
that
I do.
correctly?
Yes, I do.
Do you think you'll get that opportunity? Do people, like there's all these job openings, maybe start coordinators and whatnot. You know, the Jets just hired Kevin Green as an outside linebacker coach and Stump Mitchell's a running backs, etc. Do people call you still, or are you out of sight, out of mind right now?
I have gotten calls, but the way I look at it is this. Rather than sit back and wow, I wonder if I'll ever be, I'm just working my butt off. And when that opportunity comes, and I believe it will come, when that opportunity comes, I will show what Mike Singletary is as a coach.
Have the Jets ever called you?
No.
Can I encourage them to call you? We can have a conference call now. I'll call Woody Johnson up. No disrespect to Todd Bowles, but we're
Yeah.
done with him. And we move on to you. Is that a position that you'd consider? New York Jets head coach? Would that fulfill your desires?
Don't answer that.
Hey, you know what? All I'm going to say is Todd Bowles, good luck to you this year.
Yes,
Go
exactly.
Let me tell you, but as soon as that thing goes 3-13, you're on the horn.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Johnson. This is Mr. Singletary. Can we? I have to go to London to meet you. Yes, Mr. Ambassador.
See, Mike, this
I'm
way
on my way.
I got to work this every single day. You know
I'm
what I'm
on
saying?
my way. Do you believe in the cliched notion that a good defense always beats a good offense?
Yes, at the end of the game, yes, I do.
You do?
I do.
So when you handicap this game, I don't think either team's known primarily for having the greatest defense or offensive juggernauts. How would you handicap these two teams defensively against the opposing team's offense?
I guess it's really going to come down to turnovers. I think that's what the game is going to come down to. Whether you look at defense, offense, they're both going to score points, but I think it's going to come down to turnovers.
Why don't you join the NFL today? Right?
Yeah.
Have
Just
you
add
ever-
another guy.
Have you ever considered? I saw Tony Gonzalez last night.
Yes.
And he's too damn pretty and handsome to do 3 minutes of content on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Plus he's going to be on like NCIS. He's got a great character
He's
built
in the
over
movie
there.
Triple X right
so
now.
let's just say Tony Gonzalez goes, you know, fellas, I'm an actor now. I'm going to be like The Rock. You should be on that show.
Well, in all honesty, I'm a coach, and that's why I'm not doing it. I am a coach.
I like that.
That's
Loves
what I
it.
do.
And he loves it.
I am a coach. I need a mantra like that, Al. I need to.
By the way, who's Mike here with?
So let me ask you this: Mike is here with with Hyundai, and what are you doing with Hyundai other than obviously being a spokesperson? What's the story with that?
Well, I'm working with Hyundai, and we're talking about our troops. I mean, they really give us the reason to have the passion and to be able to have the games and everything that will be going on Sunday. The best part of that would be what our troops is doing overseas.
Sure.
So they're going to bring, for the first time, they're going to bring troops over and allow them to be able to experience with the 360.
The virtual reality glasses?
Yes.
Awesome.
And try to bring the game to them.
Oh, that's so
So
cool.
it should be very exciting.
Yeah, that is cool. So that's Hyundai. Listen, any company that does stuff with and for our troops should be applauded for doing that. No one makes them do it. If they do it because it's the right thing to do. And it's nice to know that you're involved with them. Did you ever bring a military person into the locker room to talk to the guys?
No, I did not.
That'd be. I wonder how
Well, Tom
guys.
Coughlin did that.
He brought
Colonel Gadsden.
Gadsden, right?
Yeah, he brought in Colonel Gadsden. And, a lot of the players said that that he had such a profound effect on them that when it got tough in practice or the coach was on them or it was too hot, that all they did was refer back to Colonel Gadsden. It was like, this ain't bad. This,
Oh,
our
it
life is
definitely
pretty
makes
good.
a difference.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yes.
And certainly when you see the wounded warriors walking around here, and that's why it's great that Hyundai does that, and we're involved with stuff back in New York as well. So I gotta tell you, Mike, it's great to see you, man. You look like you're in good shape. Looks like you can still play.
I think maybe I could take him.
You think so?
7 kids, you know,
Seven
they keep you
kids.
going. You got to make a
Seven.
decision. Yes.
At some point, the decision's got to be, we're good.
So let me ask you one final question. The best year of defense in the Bears when you guys were there, 85? 85
Yes,
Bears,
85.
okay. How would those Bears stack up to the 2000 Ravens and last year's Denver Bronco team?
You know what? I won't even put the Broncos in it, even though they have some great players.
Yep.
Simply because of the way the game has changed.
Okay.
But when I look at the Ravens, I think the Ravens had a tremendous defense. But I try not to get into the comparison and all those things. I just know that what we had was really special, and I really respect all the other great defenses, and so it's hard to compare.
He's running for office.
Were
now.
you
I know it. I apologize.
That's all right. That's okay.
Were you close friends with Walter Payton?
Yes.
We've asked a couple of the other former Bears this. I just wonder, did he ever sit down and just man to man privately over a beer or something lament the fact that Ditka gave the ball to Refrigerator Perry and didn't allow Walter Payton his moment of scoring a Super Bowl touchdown? Did they ever discuss that with you?
You know, I got to be very honest. I think the media made that so much more, so much bigger than it actually needed to be. Obviously, Walter, for so many years, wanted to get to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
We finally got there. He didn't score. But when you look at the film, that game, every step that Walter took, New England went. So I think you realize very early on that if we're going to win this game,
Sure.
we're going to have to use Walter to our advantage. And
Do you think Ditka did it on purpose? Like, did he have a thing about Walter Payton where he didn't want to give him the opportunity there?
let me tell you something. If anybody loved Walter more than Coach Ditka, I would like to see him.
Got it.
So absolutely not.
So the urban legend of him having
Yeah,
some
I don't
kind
know.
of
That's
I don't know where
foolishness.
that
That's
ever.
foolishness.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from because
Well, people thought about it because you're on the 2-yard line. You have the great Walter Payton with a chance to score. As much as it's great winning the Super Bowl, and that's enough, being able to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, I mean, must be out of this world. And he gave the ball to Perry and not to Walter. People started surmising, well, why would he do that?
Surprised that you only won one Super Bowl?
Yeah, obviously we would have liked to have won more. I certainly think we had the team, but you know as well as I do, it's not the best team.
Right.
Or it's not the best, the most talented guys to go out there to win the game. I think we lost the chemistry. When Buddy left, we lost the chemistry. Mm-hmm. And so I just think it came down to that.
What are you bench pressing these days?
I've never really bench pressed.
One rep, one set, one thing max. Just if you could just pump it up. What do you got?
Yeah.
We ask everyone.
Yeah.
To be fair, and I don't want to be rude about it, you can't leave until you answer, and we'll take physical.
How about I
bench
answer
after.
it this way? How about I say if you put 225 on the bar, maybe I'll do it a few times.
No, just once. 285.
Man, I don't know.
315.
I've never done it.
I would say 315.
What do you mean you've never done it? You're a
I
linebacker.
didn't do
jacked
that.
Still, your
But I
biceps
didn't
are
do that.
Embarrassing my whole body right now. And you never lifted weights. Yeah, and you have a man bag. You got to be a tough guy to carry a man bag at JFK.
I stayed on the hill. The hill
on
was it.
How do you, what were you doing? Push-ups? What are you like?
A lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups.
I don't buy that.
What do you mean you don't buy that?
I do 20 push-ups a night, but I do them right. And I don't have the biceps you have.
Well,
So it's got to be more than push-ups.
DNA. I mean, DNA comes in. You know,
Yeah,
mom
I'm
and dad
screwed
do
with that.
more
Man,
too
thanks,
now.
Mike. It's great to see you, man.
Thank you.
Before we get out of this quick, what do you know?
What do you mean?
What do you?
Al's giving me the signal. We got to
Oh,
go.
I apologize. I
Hey,
thought Al was
congratulations
pulling
to
a
you and
stunt.
Hyundai and everything
Thank
else.
you.
Good luck with you.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you
Thanks.
down the road, all right?
All right.
Hopefully, as
Good
New
job.
York Jets head coach, I would endorse that immediately. The great Mike Singletary. We're going to take a picture with you, Mike, so hang tight 1 second.
All right, listen, are you hiring